Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Oxnard City Council for Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. But before I proceed, just want to make an announcement. I'm going to move items M2 as well as M5, followed by item L1 to the agenda. So we're going to take care of M2 first, and then M5, and then L1 in recognition of the amount of people that are here to speak in that item and also to give you time to be heard, okay? Yeah, that's going to be, thanks, Councilmember Saab. That's going to be followed, item H. Councilmember Saab, did you want to make a point of order?
Actually, it's more of a point of personal privilege. This is really tough. Yesterday I received a phone call, the worst call of my life, from my mother. My father passed away yesterday. So I just want to say that I'm not 100% here right now. There may be an instance or two where I'm going to ask somebody to repeat themselves, perhaps, because I'm not going to be 100% focused. And I may commit a faux pas or two. And if I do, just, I hope you'll forgive me and understand. This man was, of course, for any son, he's, the hero of your life. He was a good man. He was an excellent role model. People loved him. I loved him. So I just wanted to let you know what I'm going through right now, and I will do my best to power through this meeting as much as I can. And if for some reason I have to leave in the middle briefly, I hope you'll forgive me for that, and I'll try to come right back in as soon as I regain my composure. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Saar. Madam Clerk, may we have the roll call and posting of the agenda, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll take a moment of silence for Councilmember Starr's father.
Councilwoman Basua.
Here.
Mayor MacArthur.
Here.
Councilmember Paralo.
Here.
Councilwoman Perez.
Here.
Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Present.
Councilman Starr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Teran.
Here.
The agenda for this meeting was posted in the kiosk at City Hall, the Oxnard Public Library, the city administrative offices, and on the city's website on Thursday, February 6th, and the amended agenda on Tuesday, February 11th. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, can you introduce the student that's coming up?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As we've done at our meetings this calendar year, we have a student to lead us tonight in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then she'll share a little bit about her journey and living in Oxnard. So it's my pleasure to introduce for this first portion, Ms. Jimena Lopez, who's from Channel Islands High School. So we'll turn it over to you for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Please rise.
Thank you.
for the
Right
pledge.
after, we'll just take a moment of silence for Mr. Starr.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We just emerged from a closed session between 4:30 and 6. I'm going to pass it over to the city attorney to see if he's got any announcements to make.
Thank you, Mayor MacArthur. There are no reports out of closed session this evening. other than to note that prior to going into closed session, there were 2 recusals announced. One on item C1, Councilman Starr recused himself, and on item C3, Councilwoman Basua recused herself.
I'm going to also make an announcement as well. I'm going to recuse myself from, help me out with this one, City Attorney. Which item was that for full consent?
That was item
Was it 8?
8. That is item K8 on the consent agenda, which has to do with a loan agreement for Casa Aliento. And I believe your residence is just within 1,000 feet of the project site, or
Correct.
a portion of the project site. So not having realized that until now, we have not had any opportunity to do any analysis for you on this. So the safest bet is to recuse yourself, and when that item, since it's on consent, you don't have to leave the room, but you cannot participate in the discussion, any discussion on that item when that closed session, I'm sorry, that consent agenda item comes up.
Yeah, in the abundance of caution, I recuse myself from that, given the close proximity. Turn it over to you, Mayor Pro Tem, to
Yes,
have
thank
the
you.
young lady. Yeah.
Without further ado, thank you. We'll turn it back to Ms. Lopez to share a little bit about her story here in Oxnard. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jimena Lopez, and I would like to thank all the city council members for having me here today and offering me this opportunity. Now, I would like to share a little bit about my story. I came to the United States at 11 years old, and I didn't know English since my first language was Spanish. When I attended school, I faced many difficulties with the language because although I was part of the English learning program, it was hard for me to adapt to it. After 2 years, I finally understood English, but the writing and speaking parts were still challenging because I felt insecure about my writing and pronunciation. The cultural difference also added to my struggle, as I had to navigate a new social landscape while trying to maintain my own cultural identity. There were times when I felt overwhelmed and frustrated, questioning whether I will ever truly fit in. However, when I started attending Channel Islands High School, my life changed significantly. At first, I believed my school experience would be limited to attending classes and going home until graduation. But over time, I discovered that my school offers so much more: sports, clubs, and opportunities for personal growth. At first, I believed I could never be part of these activities, thinking only perfect students were able to participate. I limited myself to watching from a distance, wondering why I didn't have the potential to stand out like those students who excel through their hard work. At that time, I lacked confidence in myself and assumed that if I tried to join anything, I would fail. Everything started to change when I met Miss Plasencia, who became a key source of support for me. Over time, she made me realize the potential I had within me and motivated me to overcome my fears and get more involved in school. Thanks to her support, I encouraged myself to join different clubs, and little by little, I ended up taking on roles in 3 particular clubs. This experience not only helped me improve my English, but also allowed me to develop skills I never thought I had, such as leadership. Without realizing it, I was growing as a person, and my efforts in each club reflected my desire to contribute to my school community. As part of my involvement, I took the initiative to help other students by doing presentations to inform them about ways to get involved in school and the benefits of participating in extracurricular activities. I knew firsthand how intimidating it could feel to take that first step, so I wanted to guide others and encourage them to take advantage of the opportunities available. Seeing students gain confidence and participating in new experiences was incredibly rewarding. Incredibly rewarding. Also, I have always worked maintain a positive and welcome environment for everyone. It makes it a priority to ensure that every student feels valued, and I take pride in helping to create the experience for others. Today, I look back and know that all the hard work has been worth it. I went from being a student who had no idea of her own potential to one who played an active role in her school and stood out on her own merits. Despite the obstacles, I continue working to improve my school environment and supporting other students who may be going through similar experience to mine. This transformation has not only given me confidence in myself, but has also helped me visualize a more promising future. My main goal is to graduate from high school and continue my studies at the university to earn a professional degree. I want to prove to myself that I am capable of achieving it, but most of all, I want my family, especially my mother, to be proud of me. All the effort and sacrifice they have made for me deserve to be rewarded with my success. Every step I take is guided by the desire to build a better future, not only for myself, but also for those who have believed in me and supported me on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimena. That was an amazing story, and I want to point out that you already did. It doesn't need to be pointed out, but I'm going to say it anyways. To come to this country at 11 years old, not knowing English, and now you're here, and you are presenting at the podium in front of the council, the public, your community. I mean, I have so much respect for you, and I hope you're super proud of yourself, because I think myself, everybody here is proud of you. So before we have you come up for your certificate, would you like to introduce the folks who are here with you?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I have my mom, who's called Leticia Lopez. And my teacher, Miss Plasencia. And the principal of my school, Miss Ramos.
Thank you all so much. Should we have the certificate,
Yeah,
Mayor? And
absolutely.
you want to come? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
I just wanted to make a quick comment as well. I think that oftentimes the success and talent of our young people also has to do with the leaders in our community that are cultivating the next generation for opportunities. And I wanted to applaud the work of Principal Marianne Ramos, who's from this community, who works every day to instill the values of ensuring that we have opportunities for our young people to thrive. And I know that oftentimes the school district doesn't get much credit, but I know that OUHSD as well as Channel Islands High School has also contributed to one of the highest acceptance rates in the UC school system, and just really wanted to applaud the work that you do.
Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pardo.
yeah, I would like to congratulate your mother. We have a
Thank you.
case up here where a person just lost their father. Parents are the most important things in your life and what they can do for you, standing by you. Please don't forget that when you have your own children. Thank you.
Yeah, Jimena, come on up, please. Señora López, por favor, se puede subir, and Mrs. Plasencia, and certainly Ms. Ramos. Very well said, Mr. Farrell. That was good. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Come on, Jimena. Congratulations. That was a beautiful speech. I'm gonna just say a couple of things. Felicidades. Presencia, pleasure meeting you. Nice to see you, Thomas. How are you? Nice to see you. Thank you. We're so proud of Jimena Lopez, and I know I haven't said it, but I want to say thank you to our Mayor Pro Tem when he approached me and we had a dialogue about having young students come up here. I thought initially, it's a phenomenal idea just to highlight the capacity of our students and our educators and how involved they are to really shape the lives of these young people. I think it's just incredible the talent we have here that sometimes just really goes unrecognized sometimes. So, it's just impressive, your story, and Mom, great job in doing what you're doing. Well, thank you. So we have a certificate. Hello. We have a certificate for you, Jimena. So proud of you. On behalf of the City of Oxnard, look at people out there. We're all here pulling for people like yourself because you're the future of our city. Hopefully you go away to college, come back, and add your talents here to this city, okay? So from behalf of myself and the entire City Council, this is to you, Mika, for a job well done. Thank you.
Como tú sientas, si estás cómoda, si no está bien.
Hablamos todo español aquí. Pues lo orgullosa que está de su hija.
Gracias por invitar a mi hija aquí. Estoy muy orgullosa de mi hija.
Es un orgullo haber tenido a su hija, tenerla todavía y también very proud of you, muy orgullosa de ti, Jimena, tú lo has hecho. Y gracias al esfuerzo de tu mamá, señora, usted se merece un 10, ¿ok? Sígale, todo el sacrificio vale la pena, ¿ok? Pero ella tiene un futuro muy, muy grande y todo su sacrificio se va a lograr todo, ¿ok? Felicidades.
Good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity to showcase one of the amazing Raiders at Channel Islands High School. We have about 2,450 students. Jimena was very easily for us the person to represent CI tonight. She is such a hard worker. She's a good student. She cares about her family. She cares about our community. And she is going to be a phenomenal leader, not just at Channel Islands High School, but for the city of Oxnard and beyond when she's done.
All right, we're going to take a photo. Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you again, Jimena. Congratulations. Thank you. We're going to move on to the public comment section. This is for public comments for items not on the agenda. Remember, we moved up the PAC item, which will follow. So if you have any public comments not on the agenda, if you're going to speak on the PAC, we just reserve that for the next item. So at this time, a person may address the legislative body only on matters not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the legislative body. Speaker requests shall be submitted as set forth on the first page of this agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. After 30 minutes, if all speakers have not had the opportunity to speak, the remaining speakers will be given an opportunity to speak prior to the adjournment of the meeting. The legislative body cannot enter into a detailed discussion or take action on any items presented during public comment. At this time, such items may be referred to the city manager for administrative action or scheduled to a subsequent agenda for discussion. Persons wishing to speak on public hearing items should do so at this time. And we've got a few speakers here. We'll start with Isaac Morales first. And Isaac, you're going to be followed by Casey Rodriguez.
A couple of days ago, the mayor had offered to call me on this matter, but I thought since there was a council meeting come up, I might as well just go speak. Good evening, council and audience. I hope to stay within subject matter jurisdiction with my comments. If I fall outside of that, it is not intentional. I have spoken here on several occasions for causes and such, but today I stand here as a survivor of domestic violence, family violence, intimate partner violence, and both child and adult sexual abuse. I don't mean to bring any active court or otherwise matters in discussion, but about a year back, I was let go from my position with the city of Oxnard related to implications in which no attempt to get my side were made. And Oxnard PD continues to protect and enable my abusers and also push back the domestic violence investigation regarding the crimes that were committed against me. I have spoken to most of the staff within the DVU and FPU, Multiple officers, detectives, sergeants, captains, lieutenants, commanders, and even Chief Benitez himself, who all have done nothing but protect and enable the immensely traumatic violence and abuse I experienced. But I not only stand here today as a call for the empowerment of survivors, whether male or female, and for the equal consideration of all sides to these matters under the law, but for the immensely overdue and much-needed reform, transparency, accountability, and rooting out of corruption and policeman misconduct within OPD and law enforcement in general, as this is a police department who protects, enables, hires, and promotes people such as Andrew Pinkstaff and Mike Wood, who have been known to commit domestic violence themselves and send inappropriate sexually charged electronic messages to victims of domestic violence that they were assigned to, as detailed in an active lawsuit at the moment against Oxnard Police Department. I come here today to call for equal consideration of all crime victims, regardless of gender and other factors and circumstances, protection of survivors, and for reform, transparency, accountability, and rooting out of corruption and misconduct within the ranks of law enforcement. I would also like to bring forward that because of my stances on these mentioned matters, I have been continuously stalked and harassed by Oxnard PD and partnering police agencies at my work, my college, my residence, amongst other places. I bring this to the council because you are the legislative and overwatching body for this city's governmental body as a whole. And with that, I say to the city of Oxnard and the Oxnard Police Department, do better. Thank you. With that, I yield my time.
Thank you. If I can just ask that you refrain from applauding. This is just simply out of decorum. There might be some times that, we just want to stop somebody from getting booed too, right? Just out of just decorum, that's all. Casey, you're up next. And Casey, you're going to be followed by Roy Prince.
Hello. Mr. Starr, please receive my sincere condolences. As one who lost her father, I know this journey won't be easy. My prayers will be with you tonight and for the future. I am truly sorry. Many of you know me as I'm present tonight. I wanted to give a shout out to all of Oxnard youth who have recently practiced their freedom by uniting together in the streets in a good and positive way, and extend a heartfelt thank you to all of Oxnard parents, older siblings, and teachers who are selflessly encouraging these youth to share their voice while teaching them their amendment rights and how to use them while staying safe. Thank you. Thank you for helping us spark the flame into our youth and empowering them to soar to new heights. For us to get through all this, we need people of all ages. We must learn from and respect our elders while continuing to keep our youth motivated. The coming together of all ages is vital, and we can do it. I have seen mothers bringing their toddlers to elders walking with canes at marches. I have never seen so much diversity in marches, and I absolutely love it. This temporary circus is bringing the people together. Great Oxnard City leaders will be the educators and protectors of our youth. Faithful, selfless community heroes like Cynthia Salas, Miguel Rodriguez, Eladette Reyes, Aracela Preciado, Dennis O'Leary, V. Aguilar, Arnold Young Cricks Torres, Stephen Eclair, Carmen Perez Jordan, Leo Martinez, Vanessa Frank, Maria Ramirez, Nicole Lanham, Maria Navarro, Vanessa Valdez, a Family Law House, and many more are indeed instrumental leaders who will continue to encourage our youth and bring the people of Oxnard together. To each one of you that I mentioned, please know I have the utmost respect for you. Thank you for the continuation of giving so much to our local youth and families. The hard work and love is seen, and any city would be lucky to have you. And tonight, as Leonard Peltier is finally free at home, I would like to say thank you to all Oxnard citizens who have ever advocated on his behalf. He is finally free, and this is a testament that no matter how long a fight feels, together we are stronger and we will reach victory. Si se puede.
Thank you, Casey. Mr. Prince, and Roy is going to be followed by Pat Brown. Hi, Roy.
Good evening. Good evening, council, staff, and public. I'm here to ask the council to consider hosting the 50th anniversary of El Concilio Family Services on top of the parking structure, the fourth floor in downtown Oxnard. El Concilio has been a member of the community for 50 years, and we'd love to have that event in Oxnard. We have an alternative in Ventura, but we would prefer the Oxnard location. It's time sensitive, and we'd appreciate hearing back from council and staff in a reasonable, timely way, perhaps by the end of the month, so that we can make a decision to participate in, keep our business, it's our community, and it's a partnership that we take seriously, and we hope that the city will honor that partnership by getting back to us quickly and soon regarding this. If it's not possible or there's some technical issues, then we need to know so that we can move on and take, we'd rather be here, but we'll go to Ventura and get this issue solved so that we can continue to move forward with our celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. Ms. Pat Brown, and she's going to be followed by Greg Runyon. Greg Runyon.
I put in 2 cards, so I don't know which one you're
This one's
wanting to
for
focus on.
items not on the agenda.
I can't hear you.
Items not on the agenda?
Okay. On items not on the agenda. If any of you drive down Oxnard Boulevard during the day, especially at breakfast time, lunchtime, and dinner time, it's going to take you at least 3 times as much time to get through there because of the big trucks and the trailers than it would if you didn't have those there and there were just cars and pickups and that sort of thing. Now, this is getting to be ridiculous. Along 5th Street, east of Oxnard Boulevard, a few blocks, there's all these big trailers that are parked along the way between the road and the railroad tracks. Now, I realize that we've got a problem here, but apparently I'm the only one who sees it. We need to get somebody's vacant lot, big vacant lot, place for all of these people to park, and that's convenient for the people with the big trucks and trailer rigs to wherever they're going to go. It needs to be a parking lot near where they want to be, not on Oxnard Boulevard, not on Rose Avenue either. They're complaining to me. I hear about it all the time. So we've got to do something, and it's just getting worse. Year by year by year, I've been here since 1993, and it is to the point where I'm wondering, how can we possibly work this out? The only way I know is to get a big, huge vacant lot and put that in for the big trucks. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. After Greg Runyon, we're going to have Daniel Piñero. Hi, Greg.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Aaron, my heart goes out to you, your family. I think that so often we see things, and I'd say this all the time, but this is a great example for all of us. We see things in polarization, and we forget that no matter what I believe, our blood's the same, our thoughts are same. I would hope our hearts are the same. And, you know, a lot of people have whatever feelings you have about Aaron. Clearly his father raised a fighter. And clearly his father raised somebody to stand on what he thinks is right. And you know, ultimately, I would rather have somebody that I know where they're standing than I have to worry about where they've been or where they're going. So your father would be proud of him. And your legacy and his legacy is going to be carried on by you. So all of our hearts go to you tonight. And maybe that's what I want to talk about. I was trying to think, I thought I was going to say something else, but here we are again where we are going to be observed, watched by how we do our business and how we govern. There's a young man who goes to our church and he's watching online for the first time. He's a quadriplegic. He was shot 2 decades ago, and he is trying to begin to engage in trying to give back a little bit. So he's watching tonight, and I got a text saying, "Who's Gabe Turan?" So Gabe, you may not know, so people are watching. But that's the thing, right? They're watching all of us, and they're seeing how we do what we do, the words we use, the tones we use. Your behaviors are what young people see. And they either look up to us or they look down. And please, try to do what you can to bring people together. Moments of healing. Sometimes it's a little thing and it creates a spark. So we are all one people. We bleed the same blood. I had to have surgery a while back. They didn't ask me, did I want white blood, red blood? It was, what's your blood type? I don't know who gave me blood, but I'm glad they did because we all bleed the same. And tonight, let's do our best to pull together as people rather than parties or anything else. So God bless you, and my heart goes out to you.
Thank you. Mr. Piñero?
Mayor, council members, my name is Dan Pinedo. I'm a resident of the city of Oxnard. Mayor, I had the opportunity to visit Lemonwood Park on Saturday, January 11. My grandson took a group of youth to play baseball there. And my grandson brought to my attention that at center field, the ground was saturated with water, literally muddy. I happened to notice an Oxnard City employee there, and so I brought it to his attention, to Carlos Ibanez Monterrosa. He maneuvered over to the area. Upon investigation, he discovered a sprinkler that was missing, causing a swampy area. I also pointed out some recesses in the field, and he went over there and checked them out. So he took pictures of the saturated area, and he told me that by Monday, Carlos Ibanez Monterrosa was very cordial and cooperative and very professional. I want to thank Carlos Ibanez Monterrosa and the Parks Department for their hard work. You know, a lot of times we come up here and complain, but more of us really need to come up here and say thank you to our city employees. So, thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Piñero. We made sure to write his name down, Carlos Monterrosa. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Madam Clerk, are there any more speakers for the non-agendized items? Are the ones virtual, are those for?
Yes, Mayor, we have virtual speakers. And the first virtual speaker is Eileen.
Go ahead, Eileen.
Eileen, go ahead and unmute and then begin speaking, please. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Eileen Tolteca, a concerned community member from Oxnard. At the last meeting, our community showed up. We shared our frustrations and fears about the ongoing targeting of our neighbors. Yet despite our voices filling the room, the topic of making Oxnard a true sanctuary city was left off the agenda. Once again, the concerns of the very people who keep the city alive were sidelined. Our community deserves better than to have its fears dismissed. Families should not have to live in constant anxiety, wondering if a loved one will be taken from them. Workers who sustain the city's economy should not have to weigh the risk of deportation against the necessity of providing for their families. Our youth should not have to step into roles of protection and advocacy because their city refuses to. Declaring Oxnard a true sanctuary city is not just a symbolic gesture. It is a necessary commitment to standing with people who make the city what it is. We cannot continue to profit from the labor, culture, tokenizing the stories of youth and contributions of our undocumented community, whilst turning our backs on them when it matters most. If the city truly values justice, then it must act. The time for empty resolutions and inaction is over. Our community is watching, and we will not be ignored. And for those showing up for the OPAC, I urge you to advocate for our documented community. Cultural and event spaces would not exist without the very people they claim to serve, those who attend, contribute, and bring them to life. Our community cannot enjoy these spaces when they are afraid. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we go to the next speaker?
Mayor, the next speaker is caller with phone number ending in 1622. Caller, please unmute and begin speaking. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. I already pressed it before, but it's okay. First of all, prayers. I join with those who are praying for Councilman Starr and his family there. Condolences. Happy Washington birthday week. And I hope that we can do like he did as he mentioned in a letter at Valley Forge to a minister. He said that he would hope that he would join the minister's pious endeavors to place dependence on that wise, all wise and powerful being on whom alone our success depends. That's being with a capital B. The great students that are showing up there at the beginning of the meetings, unfortunately, they're the exception to the rule. If you saw the nation's report card last couple of weeks, a third of our 8th graders, for instance, are functionally illiterate. Those low scores have been going on for years, even as we've been paying more as taxpayers. It's going to bureaucracy instead of the classroom, and we need more school choice. And those scores, showing low scores, have been seen here as well as nationally. Those protesting out there on the immigration issue, I would hope they wouldn't have the massive Mexican flags and some of those who are burning flags. I think this shows some ingratitude to the nation that has lets in the most legal immigrants of any nation on earth, and that's been for years. And it sounded like Mayor Pro Tem encouraged the burning because he was talking about at the end. He said that we need to educate our youth and help them to, after mentioning that burning was constitutional, and then we need them to exercise their rights. So it sounded a lot like, we heard it 3 times, that he's encouraging the burning of flags, which most people do not like. He said some people are offended. The fact that we need legal immigration is because we don't like, it's not right for people to line jump. It's not right for people to commit crimes after they committed the federal misdemeanor coming over. And that's only probably some of them doing that. But we need people who are going to be for the Bill of Rights. It's good to check who's coming in. It's the best thing. And the authorities are going after those who've committed crimes after they've been here. And overwhelmingly that, and also illegals, recent illegals. Again, it's more problematic if they're trying to enforce people who came in illegally but have done a good job since then 50 years ago. Maybe that can just be a lighter enforcement, like fines or something. And we
Thank you. That's your time. Thanks for calling in, share your comments with us. Can we go to the next caller?
Yes, the next caller is caller with phone number ending in 4018. Please unmute and begin speaking. You have 3 minutes. Caller, please press *6 to unmute.
We'll go to the next caller.
Mayor, we have no additional speakers virtually.
Thank you. If there are no additional speakers, we'll go to the next item on the agenda, which is the report from the city manager. Anything? Nothing? Okay. And we'll go to the next item, which is item H. And this is, the city council can add any reports they have. Anybody wish to make a comment or add anything?
Just kind of questions to follow up on some things, but if someone wants to speak first, maybe that'd be better.
Sure. We'll go to Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Just quick updates. I attended the Carriage Square Neighborhood Council meeting, and they had a great turnout and actually had the city manager as their presenter that evening, presenting on myths and facts. And I understand there will be an ongoing series of those presentations for other neighborhood councils. If you're a chair listening, or if you have contact with your chair, check with them to see when it's scheduled to come to your neighborhood. And I also just want to give a shout out to another neighborhood council as well, the River Park Neighborhood Council, who held their meeting last week and actually had standing room only for their meeting. I think it was maybe around 40 or 50 people. And it was a great turnout. I was very happy to see it. There was a very full agenda, but they had a lot of really great stuff they went over, as well as the council taking charge, as is their right to do, on their desires for where they'd like to see their CFD budget go, as we're in the middle of budget season. So we'll continue conversation with them at their request to do so. Those are my updates. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Perillo, did you have anything?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to thank the people that spoke tonight. I did attend River Park and left a little early because I had another meeting to attend. As Councilman Turan stated, tremendous turnout. I then went to the Cabrillo Neighborhood Council, which had also a tremendous turnout. I would like to extend my condolences to Mr. Starr for the loss of his dad. And there was a story in the LA Times 2 days ago about a Coast Guard individual that was lost at sea. And I believe this is something that our residents, I'll try and get the city to put this on site. The insatiable appetite of the American public for illegal drugs leads to some serious tragedies. And there was a Coast Guard cutter collecting cocaine off smuggling ships off the coast of Mexico and a little bit further south. The amount that was collected, the value that was collected is tremendous. But the loss of one individual life, you can't replace it. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are aware of anything going along with that stuff, illegal, please call the police department. I appreciate the comment from the public speaker tonight with respect to his concerns on the police department. I have not expressed that. That doesn't mean I diminish his concerns. But our police department, I'm proud to say, is one hell of a police department. If you're aware of something, help, step up and call. You can remain anonymous. But if you don't call, who do you think will? Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Perez?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update regarding my report. This past Sunday, I participated in a meeting with CAUSE, youth and adult leaders to hear concerns regarding tenant rights, protections, and climate actions for South Oxnard community members. I also had the opportunity yesterday to attend a rapid response event at Plaza Park and was grateful for all the community-based organizations who are connecting our undocumented community members to resources, attorneys, and awareness opportunities. This month, I've also had the opportunity to participate in several meetings and tours with city staff, including our Director of Community Development and Code Enforcement, to hear about our permitting process and curb cuts. I also had the opportunity to meet with our Assistant City Manager and Emergency Services Manager to discuss disaster preparedness. With my advocacy, I also wanted to thank our Park and Rec team for the installation of a little library at Carty Park in District 6. And I also wanted to specifically thank Julie Estrada and her team for putting my recommendations into action and installing a mini mural on the Youth Center wall located at South Winds Park. The mini mural event will actually be happening this weekend, Saturday, February 22nd, and Sunday, February 23rd, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the South Winds Youth Center, which is located at 300 West Clara Street. From my understanding, no experience is required to participate and all ages are welcomed. If anybody has questions regarding this event, you can call their team directly at 805-385-7995 or email their team at oxnardrec@org.com. The last thing that I wanted to mention is I'd like to receive an update regarding my request at the last meeting regarding our undocumented community found in our last meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council member wish to make a comment? Councilmember Sar?
So I had a very nice introductory meeting on February 12th with around 30 people at Cause and to learn about their concerns, and I thought it went well. I plan to meet with them again. I was at an event hosted by Assemblymember Bennett, and he's actually really quite a remarkable elected official, I must say. He seems like he's very practical, pragmatic, and I think he's a good listener. And he listened to my concerns about the violent felon that's operating a sober living facility here in town and what we could possibly do about that. I will have a meeting with him later this week to move forward with that and see what options might be available. I think that's probably a good time to segue into, I guess, asking the city attorney if there's any progress being made in researching an ordinance that might address this in a way that doesn't preempt state law. If he has any idea where we are with that, or if it might be a few weeks, or.
So, Mayor, if I can respond.
Sure.
We continue to research the issue. It is a very complicated issue. As you mentioned, it involves matters of state law preemption on what local agencies can do regarding matters that are under direct control of state level, county level agencies, having to do with where people on probation are housed, where people with other types of issues going on with their lives are allowed to reside.
Right. If the city attorney's office has any particular language they'd like to see changed in state law, I'd be very happy to talk to Assemblymember Bennett and see if that could be resolved that way, given the complexities there. I did promise the city manager I'd follow up with him today concerning the existence and current status of $1 million grant that seems to be, we seem to not have all the information, and I know you're looking into, and the person that was there is no longer there, so it's hard to find stuff. I thought I'd ask if there's any progress on chasing that down and where you think that might go.
We should have that by the end of the month.
Great, thank you. And since our last meeting, Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered the defunding of sanctuary cities, and I'm trying to imagine what would happen if we had to operate in such an environment. And my understanding is that city staff are putting together an analysis of how much federal funding we receive each year and the extent to which services and programs we need to be cut if this defunding were to be permanent. I assume that some programs, such as housing, would be cut more than others, and I was wondering if there was maybe a target. I know you're working on it. I was wondering if there might be a target date to provide that analysis.
So I can give a brief update tonight until the city attorney gives me the hook. So we have because this did come at the last council meeting with regard to what consequences there would be with regard to a sanctuary city. And so I'm going to break it out in three specific components. So number one, to get directly to the question, we, the city, have approximately $60 million of federal funding in play.
Okay.
Much of that is split between housing, roughly $25 million, and public works for infrastructure, another approximately $25 million. And then the other 10 or so million is spread throughout other departments, public safety and so on, including parks. Now, when you look at the White House's published memos regarding this issue, in addition to the latter ones from the newly appointed Attorney General, it seems clear to me when they say that they will defund sanctuary cities, they do not mean only City Hall. They mean, in my reading of the memos, the directives, and listening to some of the key players out of the White House's interviews, they mean the city. So that's beyond our four walls at City Hall. So not only would the people that we service with federal funding be harmed, we're talking potentially schools, hospitals, any grants that come to nonprofits, the port, because believe it or not, even though it's not in Oxnard, it's actually the port of the Oxnard Harbor District that empowers the port. So there's a lot more at stake than just City Hall. And I will tell you my perspective today, take them at their word. Take the White House at its word. So I think there are many other things we need to do in terms of protecting our families. But this other path, I think, simply puts a spotlight on this community. Not that it won't happen eventually. And there'll be other, as you can see now, other federal cuts happening outside of this particular political issue. So we just have to brace ourselves. Thank you.
All right. Recently, the wastewater treatment plant experienced operation or mechanical issue that resulted in an estimated 80,000 gallon discharge of primary effluent into the ocean pipeline. I was wondering what the status is on determining the cause and whether this has happened in the past and what action is planned is to reduce the likelihood in the future.
We will have a formal update at the next meeting for that.
Great. And lastly, if at some point I would like it if staff could put together a presentation on IT resources and what projects are in the pipeline along with their priorities. I know in my company, my employer, we always have constraints with IT resources, what they can get done, and the demands for IT services always exceed the capabilities or the capacity. So I'm wondering what sort of decisions that are in our pipeline in the future. So whenever that's convenient, I'd love to see some of that.
That's going to happen during the budget process, which will be happening in a few months.
Beautiful, thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Basua?
Yes, I'm going to keep this short. I would like to see two agenda items come back to the City Council. One is an anti-harassment ordinance along with a discrimination ordinance that will apply to our just cause tenant protection ordinance. So I would like to see a study on that and have staff bring that back with a possibility of us adopting those two ordinances. I would also like to have staff look into the possibility of using temporary union members as temporary labor for the city of Oxnard. So in other words, we would go ahead and do a memorandum of understanding with Local 585 to supply temporary workers only for emergency purpose, or if somebody's off, use them as a temp agency in order to support our current workforce. And I'd like to have those two items come back to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Basua. Councilwoman Rodriguez, you have anything?
Yes, I have a few updates.
Okay.
So on February 11th, I was delighted to attend the Downtown Oxnard Improvement Association, don't let me butcher it, Doja is kind of how I hear it. And they hosted their mixer for local businesses here in downtown. So I look forward to strengthening my relationship with the local small business and larger. I also met with MyCop and Cause, two local community organizations advocating for both tenant and housing rights. So I think several of us had introductory conversations with the groups, and also MyCop took me up on my last conversation about just having an open door. I want to remind folks that I have open door office hours at the library the first Saturday of the month, so on March 1st. I hope to see you all at the library, or anybody who would like to come and talk District 4 and beyond issues. So last time that we met, I do want to acknowledge that several folks, at least 3 folks, gave kudos to Director Wolf for his good work in public works. So I forgot to mention that in my last report, but I wanted to give kudos where kudos are due. And then this Saturday, I'll be working with, as a proud alumni of the TRIO programs, National TRIO Day, they're having a cleanup at Colonia Park, so I will be joining them that day. And again, I look forward to the office hours. One last thing, Mr. Mayor, if I may say.
Sure, absolutely.
I am the district representative for District 4, and unfortunately, I have to recuse myself from one of the items, which is why a lot of us are here today. I have had a lot of conversations with different stakeholders, and I do appreciate all the feedback that has been shared with me, so that does not go unnoticed. I own real property, and I live within 1,000 feet of the OPAC. So I wanted to share that with the public. I did send a letter to the FPPC, Fair Political Practices Committee, and I have yet to hear back. So I sent that in at least 2 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting to hear back. Hopefully, once I have their blessing, then I can definitely engage in conversations. I don't want a $10,000 fine or, a misdemeanor or anything like that. So I apologize to the many constituents who have reached out to me, but I know that I've encouraged folks to speak to other council members, which I have not. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And just lastly for me, I also attended the downtown mixer with a couple of the council members that are up here. I know Councilwoman Perez was there, Councilwoman Rodriguez was there, but really nice to see the passion and the vigor of those that own businesses downtown or live within the downtown district to want to see downtown uplifted. And so we are committed here as a council to try to promote that and do things that are, or make the right decisions to uplift our downtown, which we all want to see get better. Also had the opportunity this morning to attend a ribbon cutting ceremony. I know Mayor Pro Tem was there as well, over at the Cedar Health Center. I think one of our neighborhood council chairs was there as well. Alfonso Arroyo was there. And it was great. It was great. I had an opportunity to speak, just to see the investment that is made in our community and quality healthcare being offered there to our most vulnerable in our community. And just the elegance of that facility. You would think you were maybe in Westlake, Calabasas, but they're committed to offering great service to our most vulnerable and most in need in our community. And it just presents exceptionally well. So I was really proud as the mayor of the city to see the investment like that occurring in our community. And lastly, too, I know that Jimena was here from Challenge High School, talking of Challenge High School, but I just got also a message indicating that, I'm going to read it here, the Challenge High School Spirit Program competed at USA Spirit Nationals this weekend. Cheer, Song Palm, and Short Flags won first place, bringing home national championship title. Well, actually, national championship titles is a whole program for the first time ever in Channel Islands high school history. This was the first national championship title for Channel's high school cheer team. These athletes have worked hard all year and remain dedicated. Their coaches, Brianna Wildman, Bobby Morales, and Mark Rakadan, couldn't be more proud. This is the first squad in Ventura County to obtain a national championship status with the United States Spirit Association. So congratulations to the cheer team and others from Challenge High School. I think that was worth an applause right there. First time ever. So hopefully we can have them back here soon to present them with some recognition here. And if there is no other comment here, we will move to the next item on the agenda, which is item M2. And this is, the subject is the amendment to extend the operating agreement for the Oxnard Performing Arts and Convention Center auditorium in meeting rooms. The recommendation from staff to us is that the city council authorize the mayor to execute the facility management agreement between the city and Sterling Venue Ventures. Number one, a 5-year amendment extension for the operation, maintenance, and management of the Oxnard Performing Arts and Convention Center auditorium in meeting rooms. And the contract person for that is Terrell Harrison. Do any council members have any questions on this item to staff? Yes, Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Well, this is the item where I have to recuse myself. I own real property and live within 1,000 feet of the OPAC.
Councilmember Basu?
And I just want to say I've had communication with a lot of people, board members, residents, leaders. So I have been in lots of communication. So I just want to make sure I announce that.
Thank you. Councilmember?
I too had
Sorry.
lots of communication, spoken with Carolyn Mullen. I've also spoken on the phone with Lance Sterling. So just want to let people know that I've had those conversations.
Thank you. Councilwoman Perez?
I too had conversations with both parties and wanted to be clear with that.
Councilmember Perillo?
I've been lobbied very hard with emails, extremely hard by Manuel Herrera, and I did have a face-to-face with Carolyn Mullen.
Yeah. Mayor Pro Tem, you have any comments?
Yes, if we're sharing ex parte communication, I've had conversations with Sterling's group as well as the PAC nonprofit, OPAC, the nonprofit, their executive director, as well as some board members, and then numerous members of the community have reached out to me directly to discuss this as well as all the emails that I believe many of us have received.
Yeah. We certainly see the passion here for our arts. Right, I know I've had some very robust conversations with Terrell and his staff, as well as Sterling and the OPAC representatives, and this means a lot to our community, so certainly this is why you are all here. Before we actually have a discussion, we're going to take some public comments from those that want to speak on this item. And just want to remind the folks that are here that you're limited to 3 minutes, and please, if you would, refrain from the applause. Not that we don't value your comments, we certainly do, just out of decorum, right? Should sometime there be an instance where somebody actually boos, we don't want that either. But we're all listening to your comments. So we will start with Gabriel Hoffman, followed by Amber Norton. Mr. Hoffman?
Hello, Mayor and Oxnard City Council members. My name is Gabriel Hoffman, and tonight I'm speaking for the renewal of SVV's contract. Hello, there we are. All right. Hello, Mayor and City Council. My name is Gabe Hoffman, and tonight I'm speaking for the renewal of SVV's contract for the Performing Arts Center. I'm an employee of SVV, and in the last 2.5 years with them, I have seen and experienced so much growth within the company and within the theater. When I started, I only got to see concerts that SVV puts on, as usual, but as time went on, I got to see massive church events put on between Jehovah's Witness conventions, 300-person choirs on stage, and large evangelical celebrations. Ever since those, I've also seen comedians, hypnotists, and even an animatronic dinosaur show. These are the type of events and experiences that SVV brings to the table and to the community. Besides all of these fantastic events, SVV also brings in local elementary schools such as Parkview, Sunkist, Bard, Wainimi, and Hollywood Beach to do professional Disney theater shows working with Broadway Junior. SVV works directly also with Blackstock and E.O. Green schools from the Wainimi School District to do full-scale theater productions. Through these productions, children are receiving professional experiences that otherwise would not be possible. SVV has the resources to provide these wonderful experiences and support their growth as we learn to support each other and elevate the community. Please renew SVV's contract so that we can keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe. Amber Norton, And then Amber, you're going to be followed by Gary Davis.
All right. Good evening. My name is Amber Norton. I have been with Sterling for 4 years now. I absolutely love being with the company and being able to keep this priceless property thriving. I grew up coming here as a kid with my parents, plays and all that stuff. So being able to be a part of the solution to save this place for cultural arts and entertainment is incredible, especially because I'm a lifetime resident, born and raised. I live right down the street too. Yes, Sterling as a for-profit company, but that doesn't change the fact of how much we love Oxnard and the community and giving back. As of right now, this is the second year that we are sponsors for Channel Islands High School car show, helping the senior students with scholarships to their choice of college, university, or trade school. Let's continue this great relationship further, re-sign our 5 years, and let's continue to grow as we've already shown you we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Dr. Gary Davis. And Mr. Davis is going to be followed by Zuki Sear.
It's very special for me right now to share a few minutes at the podium with a young lady from Channel Islands High School. As former superintendent of schools for Oxnard Union High School District, I too am extremely proud of that young lady and the great staff and her new principal that is managing that school. So we're all behind her. I am Gary Davis. I serve as chairperson for the Oxnard Performing Arts Center nonprofit board. On behalf of that board and our community, I ask you to provide a new agreement to allow us to continue our cultural and artistic programming for the citizens of our great city. We ask only the following: that the agreement would give the management rights for the 2 ballrooms and 5 meeting rooms to the OPAC nonprofit board. In return, the nonprofit board will continue to submit to the city 50% of the rental proceeds from those rooms. The OPAC board will also reset its annual revenue target for the city at $120,000 per year, up from the $90,000 per year set in February of 2020. The OPAC board will also conduct an annual audit to confirm that all financial procedures are in place for the submission of rental proceeds to the city. If any of the nonprofit's rental clients request bar service, they would be referred to Sterling Venue Ventures, who would retain the liquor license for this venue. Sterling will continue to have access to the kitchen facilities as required by their liquor license, as it has for 5 years. This is not an issue. Likewise, if any rental clients request bar service, they will use the security services provided by Sterling. If our room rental clients do not request bar service, the OPAC board will provide local security guard services in compliance with all city rules and regulations. If there are any theater rental clients who wish to use the ballrooms and meeting rooms, Sterling would simply refer those rental clients to the OPAC staff. They will be accommodated. And finally, if it is in the city's best interest to grant the nonprofit board a short-term agreement, 18 months or 2 years, that is totally acceptable to the OPAC board. The nonprofit board asks that tonight you not approve the facility management agreement before you. Instead, we ask you to continue the agreement of February 2020 for just 1 month, giving the OPAC executive board time to meet again with city staff and draft a new agreement to present it for your consideration and hopefully for your approval in March. Remember.
Thank you, Dr. Davis.
Thank you.
Suki Sear.
Thank you. Oh, sure. I'm just going to relinquish my time to Dr. Gary Davis.
You know, we like to, what we can do, Dr. Davis, is if there's a number of speakers that want to cede their time to you, we could do that, including her and maybe others, and you can do your presentation. Would that be agreeable to you?
Certainly would now or later.
Sure, if your group wants to cede, or a number of them want to cede their time to you, go right ahead. Okay.
Do it now?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yes, yes.
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
I think we need to make sure we call out who's going to exceed the time so there's no mistakes made. Everybody's on the same page.
Dr. Davis, how much additional time do you need?
30 seconds.
Oh. Well, go right ahead, Dr. Davis.
Remember, too, that we are a nonprofit Oxnard organization. The proceeds from our room rentals remain here in our community. The nonprofit board needs the assurance of a separate agreement with the city to continue the many cultural and artistic events provided to our community. We cannot do this through grant proceeds alone. We need the room rental income to provide these programs. We ask you to grant this request, and thank you.
Thank you. Well, Gary Blum. Mr. Blum, you're followed by Carolyn Mullen.
Honorable Mayor, council members, and city staff, my name is Gary Blum, and I serve on the board of directors of the Oxnard Performing Arts Center Corporation, a nonprofit dedicated to ensuring that this vital community asset remains accessible, inclusive, and thriving. I am an old timer. I've actually been on the board for 27 years. When I termed out, they actually created Chair Emeritus, so I'm on till I die, I guess. I have a passion for that venue and what it means economically and culturally to our community. Our nonprofit was originally established in the late 1990s by a former city manager who recognized that a 501c3 model could allow the center to operate more sustainably, leveraging grants, donations, and community partnerships to supplement city funding. Unfortunately, for decades, that vision was never realized as the nonprofit was kept under tight city control, preventing independent fundraising efforts. That changed in 2017 when the city leadership recognized that a need for a more proactive approach. A new executive director was hired through a nationwide search, and for the first time, the nonprofit was empowered to do what it was originally intended to do: secure outside funding, build new partnerships, and develop programming that truly serves the diverse needs of Oxnard residents. Then in 2019, facing a fiscal crisis, the city had to reconsider how the Performing Arts Center was managed. That turning point forced OPAC's nonprofit board to step fully into the role it was meant to play, and we delivered. Over the past 5 years, our nonprofit has expanded community programming and culturally diverse events, workshops, and educational programs, secured outside funding to keep programming affordable and accessible from grants and donations, built strong community partnerships that have enhanced the Performing Arts Center's reach and impact. We are here tonight because we understand the city is considering a contract renewal solely with a for-profit private operator, a decision that could jeopardize our ability to continue providing the very programs that make this venue a true performing arts center and not just a rental space. I urge you to reconsider the public benefit OPAC provides, the cultural lifeline it provides for Oxnard, and the importance of maintaining a community facility like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Carolyn Mullen. Remember, if we can just refrain from clapping, please. We're here in the comments, but Carolyn Mullen? And Carolyn, you're going to be followed by Carol.
Okay. Good evening. I'm
Flores.
Carol. Oh,
I'm sorry.
There we go.
No, I was just, Carol Flores will follow you. I'm sorry, Carolyn.
I know, we have similar names. Good evening. I'm Carolyn Marino Mullen, Executive Director of OPAC, here on behalf of the thousands who walk through our doors looking for a place to belong, to create, and to celebrate. The last 5 years have been very challenging, but OPAC remained resilient. During COVID, our doors never shuttered. We facilitated blood drives, PPE and food distributions, and vaccine clinics, and we continue to be there for Oxnard. We've expanded our work to address social issues like sustainability, mental health, and civic engagement, because art isn't just entertainment, it's a force for healing and transformation. I'll never forget one of the first students in our teen art program. A mother enrolled her daughter after a suicide attempt, desperate for help. Within weeks, surrounded by a creative community, something changed. That sense of isolation lifted. Her mother told us, "I have my daughter back." And that's what art does. It saves lives. And yet we find ourselves having to defend its place in this city. We need more art, more programs, more cultural organizations, not less. One recommendation from the city's Thriving Youth Study is for civic organizations like OPAC to expand our services. Tonight's vote is one way you can do just that without costing the city a dime. In fact, OPAC is exceeding expectations. Year after year, we surpass the city's $90,000 rental target for the community rooms. In fiscal year 22-23, we gave the city $102,000 and some change. In fiscal year 23-24, it was $177,000 and some change. In fiscal year 24, well, our current fiscal year, we're halfway through, and we've already done 114. We are on track to do $200,000 this fiscal year. In addition, I know y'all are ruining my time. Okay, in addition to a successful rental program, OPAC offers free year-round programs, including visual art classes and school programs, monthly family art nights, a rotating gallery at the Mexican consulate featuring local artists, workforce experience programs developing young DJs and audio engineers, and creatives who wouldn't have these opportunities otherwise. We've beautified our city through public art on fences and bridges and libraries, and we're currently leading a year-round public art program at Pacifica to nurture the next generation of muralists and public artists. When major festivals left this city, we stepped up. We created Native Plant Fest, Ichigo-Con, Chelita, and Dia de los Muertos. And then there's this center, our home for 27 years, our namesake. We've invested over $150,000 in upgrades from new lighting to landscaping, improving the experience for meetings to milestone celebrations. But beyond numbers, managing the center brings us joy. Creating people-centered spaces isn't just part of our mission, it's fundamentally who we are. No one is infallible for mistakes, but we have corrected them and we want to chart a positive path forward. As the city renews its focus on the arts, from mini murals to dynamic library programming, OPAC stands ready to be a strong and reliable partner. Let's build this partnership together. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Carol? Ms. Flores back, and then she's going to be followed by Christian Ramirez.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Carol Flores Beck. I'm a resident of Oxnard for the last 68 years and have been an educator for 45 of those years here in the community. Currently, I'm the Vice Chair of the Oxnard Performing Arts Nonprofit Board. I'm also Board Director for the Oxnard Downtown Lions and the Oxnard Ocotlán Sister Cities. As you can see, I have a true commitment to my community, the children and the families of Oxnard. I'm here this evening to ask you to provide and approve a new agreement for the OPAC nonprofit, the management rights for the 2 ballrooms and 5 meeting rooms. My colleagues have already shared our proposal with you and your staff. Again, I'm here for the children and the families of this community. The reason I'm speaking is because I am probably one of the only people here who knows why the community center is in Midtown and why it was originally built with small meeting rooms, larger ballrooms, and eventually the auditorium. It was built for the community. It is the only venue of its layout and size between Thousand Oaks and Santa Barbara, if not further north. It was built for the community groups and families to hold meetings, art and music classes, to be held for children and adults, parties or reception, and is the only venue outside the fairgrounds that holds over 500 people for any type of an event. In my younger days, Mr. Bedford Pinkard was hired to run the Parks and Recreation Department, and Friday night dances were held at the Rec after the football games. My nieces and nephews attended preschool with Mrs. Cooper. My parents went to the first event at the auditorium featuring the King Sisters, and I went to the first rock concert held in the auditorium. My father, Pedro R. Flores, was a commissioner of parks for about 15 years in the 60s and 70s, and his name is on the 2 plaques at the community center and auditorium. My father and his fellow commissioners were very proud of their efforts. Their goal was to make sure that children and families had equal opportunities for art, music, culture, and sports. They made sure that the city park was in every development. They made sure that there were baseball fields maintained in the north side, Durley Park, Beck Park, Dripple School, Colonia, and Statham Park, which is no longer there. They had the Santa Claus float built. They were proud of the summer sports festivals, but their greatest accomplishment for the community was the community center and auditorium. The center was built for the community and was purposely built in the city center for the community. To this day, I'm very proud of my dad's accomplishments and his commitment to the city of Oxnard. The goal of the OPAC nonprofit is basically the same as those that had vision back in the 60s. We are here to provide art, music, culture, mental health workshops, and sports at the highest level. We accomplish this through grants, endowments, and reasonable costs. We reinvest our profits into and for our community. We are not a private company that is here for profit. Again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Flores-Peck. Christian Ramirez, and then Christian, you're going to be followed by Patricia Cortez Washington. Thanks, Christian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Ramirez, Director of Events and Programs at OPAC. I wish I could stand here and tell you all about the events and programs we organize and how easy it is to tell how biased this staff report was. But instead, I'm spending my time and shining a light on the people who tirelessly work every day to provide these services to our community. Behind me, you'll see some incredible OPAC staff. Marianne, our Teen Art Coordinator, has been with us for 3 years. She is responsible for hiring local artists to teach our free teen art program. Elisa Torres has dedicated the last 2 years to teach our free children's art program and facilitate our free family art night, which we host monthly. Juana is our newest addition to our team. Serving as our events intern, she leads our Andale program, a free monthly wellness initiative we host at OPAC for the last 5 months. Daniela, our executive assistant, is the glue that holds us together. She ensures all programming runs smoothly as possible. Sitting behind me, you can also find Xavier, who has been with OPAC for 11 years, Selena for 6 years, and Juan for 3 years. The team ensures every person who walks through our door for a special event receives the best experience possible. They create lasting memories for our guests and treat everyone at the level of care that is special to OPAC. We also have Jose, our rental coordinator, who has been serving the community for 18 years. He has worked extremely hard to upgrade so many aspects of our venue to ensure the community has a place they feel proud of. Finally, we have Victor, our maintenance engineer. He has been with OPAC for 24 years. Yes, 24 years working at OPAC, and is able to tell us every detail we need to know about the building. The entire team is rooted in Oxnard. They understand the community we serve, and more importantly, they understand what it means to provide service to an already underserved community. I am proud to call each one of them a member of OPAC. Without them, Oxnard would not have experienced events like our Dia de los Muertos, Chelita, HOCon, Native Plant Fest, and many more. We're all speaking here tonight because you made a commitment to serve our community as best as you could. I understand this recommendation was not something that you put together, but you have the perfect opportunity now to do right by the community like you promised when you were elected. Thank you.
Thank you. Crystal Lopez. Also, if I can just remind the public, please, we can just shy away from the applause. We're here in the comments and taking copious notes of what's being shared here. Go with Crystal, and then Luis Huereca will follow Crystal.
Hello, Council. My name is Patricia Cortez Washington. I'm a lifelong resident of Oxnard, a mother of 2, a business owner, and a mental health provider. I'm here today to express my strong support for the OPAC nonprofit's proposal to have a direct and separate agreement with the city for the management of the meeting rooms and the ballroom. As a community member, I, along with my family, have greatly benefited from the variety of programs that OPAC has provided, including cultural and arts events, wellness activities, and other events that bring us together. These programs have been a vital part of our community, offering meaningful activities that promote social connection, emotional well-being, and opportunities for community engagement. As a mental health professional, I can tell you that these are vital. When my children were younger, we regularly attended concerts, cultural performances, and educational events at the theater. These events not only served as a rich resource for our community, but also attracted visitors from outside of Oxnard, bringing people to the heart of the city. Unfortunately, since the theater has been under the management of Sterling Ventures under the Canyon, I've witnessed firsthand how access to the theater has become cost prohibitive to local schools and dance programs. We've seen fewer opportunities for our children and community to participate in cultural and artistic events at the theater. I've been disheartened by the cancellation of multitude of concerts under the direction of Sterling. This reflects a clear disconnect between Sterling Ventures and the needs of our community. Sterling Ventures, taking over the management of the meeting rooms and ballroom, would signal the same disregard, I fear, for the community's needs, with more costs, fewer opportunities, and less engagement with the pulse of Oxnard. I have also partnered with OPAC to support wellness events. In one particular event, we've done mental health supports for seniors. I received some letters from those participants talking about how, so we worked with plants, and they shared that they continue to have that plant in their home. And as they care for that plant, they continue to also take care of themselves. So that plant, that opportunity that they had at OPAC is directly impacting their mental health after they participate in the event. I want to finish by echoing the words of Councilmember Perez. Community organizations like OPAC and the individuals that support them are not only working to promote activities in our community, they are working day in and day out to support our youth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Lopez, remember, just no clapping, please. Thank you. Also, Luis Huereca, and then followed by Estrelitza Gallardo. Luis Huereca, you're up next. Yeah.
Mayor, Council, if I can yield my time over to Manuel Herrera, please.
Mr. Herrera, go ahead.
So I get 6 minutes, right?
One for you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Manuel Herrera, Citizens for Better Oxnard. First of all, Aaron Starr, please accept my condolences. As usual, I'm going to say what most people are afraid to say. As many of you know, I have been a huge supporter of our staff and will continue to be that. However, I feel that at any point, if staff has dropped the ball, then I'm obligated to speak up. In this case, my issue is with the staff report. Having been a board member with the nonprofit and therefore knowing what I know, I will have to say that the staff report seems one-sided and in favor of Sterling Ventures. Here are my issues. The staff report clearly paints the nonprofit as incompetent and often breaking the rules while claiming that, and I quote, based on the Sterling successful management and operations of the PAC, the city recommends a 5-year extension of Sterling's contract. To claim that the nonprofit is solely responsible for the fractured relationship between the city, nonprofit, and Sterling is wrong. Let me start at the beginning. The original proposal from the nonprofit was for the city to have a contract with Sterling as the operator of the theater and have a separate contract with the nonprofit for the management of the conference rooms. The city rejected that offer and instead created only one contract with Sterling, but directed him to have a side agreement with the nonprofit. Right from the beginning, Sterling dragged his feet and often changed his mind on items he had originally agreed to. That was the beginning of the toxic relationship. When I first reached out to the city, letting them know that this relationship was not working, their answer to me was, you guys need to work it out. So had the city listened to our cry for help from the beginning, I honestly think we would not be in the situation we are today. So you see how there's enough blame to go around? As for the accusations against the nonprofit, how much of that was reactive behavior from the nonprofit for being forced by the city to be in a toxic relationship with Sterling? Again, a lot of the behavior of the nonprofit was due to the disrespect and bad treatment from Sterling and from the lack of support from the city. Another concern I have is why did the staff report blast the nonprofit but then turn around and praise Sterling Ventures, making it sound like they have done an excellent job and have done nothing wrong. So after reading the staff report, I decided to do a simple Google search and I was shocked at what I found. There were tons of bad reviews. That's my first 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
There was tons of bad reviews, not only from concert goers and people who hired Sterling for his liquor sales, but also from past employees. Why wasn't any of that listed in the staff report? I also found several lawsuits against Sterling, against his company, including one from a concert goer at the PAC who claims he was visually attacked by Sterling's security guards. Yet the city claims that it's the behavior of the nonprofit that's a liability to the city and not Sterling. Why wasn't any of that listed in the staff report? Another issue I have is that Sterling has basically turned the PAC into the cover band capital of the world. One Google review from a concert goer actually said that if they want to go watch a cover band with a lousy sound system, they will go to the PAC. If they want to watch a quality concert, they would go elsewhere. Why wasn't that mentioned in the staff report? I'm actually the one who invited Sterling to promote shows at the PAC. I actually was the guy that reached out to him to come over here, but I wanted him to do quality shows, not cover bands. The Majestic Theater in Ventura often brings top quality bands to the facilities, yet we have to settle for cover bands? And when Sterling does bring big names to Oxnard, those shows are often canceled or postponed. Even after all this, I honestly feel we can fix this mess. How? Let's start from scratch. Let's start all over again. Here's how that would look. First, continue to honor the current bookings that we have throughout the year. There's no reason for the public to pay the price on all this. Second, issue a new RFP for a new operator. Let's thank Sterling for his 5 years of service, but it's time to see what else is out there, and let's look for a new operator. One that can work with the nonprofit and one that would bring top-notch entertainment to the PAC, just like Ojai, Ventura, and Thousand Oaks currently do. If they could do it, so can we. And if staff claims the relationship between the nonprofit has been fractured, then let's seek someone who can act as a liaison between the two parties while this relationship mends. Look, we're all adults here, so let's do whatever we can to do what's right for the people of Oxnard. Oh, and one more thing. At the end of the day, all this is just a Band-Aid to the real issue, which is what are we going to do with the building at the PAC? It's time that we quit kicking the can down the road and start having discussions about what we're going to do with all the maintenance that is required of those buildings. So I thank you for your time, especially for the extended time. And staff, I still love you and I still respect you.
Thanks, Manuel. Let's go to Victor Valadez. Followed by J.D. Steffens.
Good evening, Kent. My name is Victor Valadez. I'm an employee of Sterling Venue Ventures. I'm also a lifetime Oxnard resident, born and raised, 51 years. I supervise security for Sterling here in Oxnard. I have to say that for the years, this place has not been that great of an area. The homelessness and the drug use around the facility was pretty bad. But since Sterling has managed the property for the last 5 years, we have been able to clean up the place and exponentially. In doing so, the community now sees the property as a safe place to come enjoy and any events we have going on. Even the people not coming to the property for an event feel safer in the parks, walking their dogs and playing with their children at the park. Please renew Sterling's contract so we can continue to keep making this place successful and safe for everyone in our community. I was born and raised out here. I remember seeing that community center when it first came up. And then also when it went done, where we had homeless overrun. And ever since Sterling came on board, they were able to get that place made looking safe, clean, and I'm very proud to say I work there. And I've gone into helping get that place look like it is looking like now. And we just want to continue that 5-year process and continue us to keep those kids doing their stuff there, all the schools that come in through there, the quinceañeras, the birthday parties, everything that goes through there. It's a fun area to be at, and we try to keep it as safe as possible. We haven't had any incidents happen that have been drastically of any kind of sort. So we just very proud to call that place our home. Thank you.
Thank you. JD Steffens, and then Star, are you still out there? If you want to come after JD, we'll recognize you too. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is JD Stevens, and I'm a local queer artist and poet. I'm also a mental health advocate and a part of Get Loud movement, which serves the local queer artist community in various ways. For me personally, the arts have helped me not only cope, but heal, find community, thrive, and find my voice. It is through the arts I have been able to find the strength and healing to stand up for those who are the most vulnerable in our community. This includes giving up an addiction to alcohol. I'm 3 years sober. Thank you. OPAC helps use this vital space to create spaces where so many artists can find a healthy space to create and find a healthy outlet, as well as to be in community with others while making the arts accessible to those most in need. The following is a statement from the founder and creator of Get Loud Movement, who couldn't be here tonight. Council and community, my name is Monique Gonzalez, a local artist and organizer for the queer arts in Ventura County. I write this letter as former OPAC employee and organizer who has collaborated on several events with the OPAC team in their community spaces. I have seen firsthand the dedication, passion, and leadership Carolyn Mullen and her team have created in this community space. I could tell you the many ways OPAC has been committed to serving community and creatives. I could go down the long list of partnerships and collaborations the team has fostered to create impactful programming. What I can also tell you is that during my time with OPAC, Sterling Venue Ventures had not shown the level of coordination and experience needed for us to effectively operate our community space. While I value the SVV team and the work they pour into the main theater, I truly believe OPAC can thrive operating on its own contract with a better structured and equitable agreement that aligns with both the City of Oxnard and OPAC's interests. A direct agreement with City and OPAC ensures a commitment to community needs rather than corporate interests whose profits leave the city. I assure you that completely cutting the program and taking it out of our hands would be a huge disservice to the community and the folks who have worked tirelessly to maintain an open and accessible space these past 27 years. Thank you.
Thank you, JD. And then Star. Star, you're going to be followed by Mary Ann Cawthorn.
Good evening, my name is Strelitzia and I am 14 years old. I am here tonight to express my strong support for the Oxnard Performing Arts Center, which is also known as the OPAC. First, I want to say how grateful I am to have such a wonderful resource in our community. I have had a wonderful privilege of participating in many of OPAC's programs, including the Teen Art Program, Family Art Night, Andale, and many others. Family Art Night is a fantastic opportunity for families to come together and spend quality time engaging in creative activities. I have seen families of all backgrounds, including grandparents and grandchildren, bonding over art. It's truly special to see different generations and cultures come together in such a positive and enjoyable way. At Andale, I have had the opportunity to experience a sound bath, which was a new and calming experience that helped me and many others ease my mind and relax. The Teen Art program has been especially meaningful to me. It has given me the chance to participate in free art classes that my family otherwise couldn't afford. The sewing and art classes have opened my eyes to the possibility of starting my own business as a teenager while I'm still in school. I've discovered a passion for creating and learned that I can even turn that into a passion way to make money. There are so many other incredible programs at the OPAC that offers, like the Dia de los Muertos celebration, where I get to proudly showcase my culture among many other activities. I could go on and on about the many benefits of that OPAC brings to our community, but I know that time is limited. Please help us preserve the OPAC and all the invaluable programs that provide the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Star. Mary Ann, and then Mary Ann, you're going to be followed by Teo Lopez.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank
Mary
you.
Ann.
My condolences, Mr. Starr. Good evening. My name is Mary Ann Cawthorn, and I'm the Teen Art Coordinator at OPAC, the nonprofit. I help with all of our arts programming, but I want to focus my comments on our teen art program, which gives young people the
I
opportunity.
don't think they can hear you if you can speak into the
Oh,
microphone.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, they're signaling that you can
Okay,
hear.
thank you. My name's Marianne Cawthorn. I'm the teen art coordinator for the OPAC nonprofit. I help with all of our arts programming, but want to focus my comments on our teen art program, which gives young people the opportunity to learn and create with a local working artist. Our classes are free, ensuring there are no barriers to participation. Art is more than a hobby, it's a lifeline. For many teens, these classes provide a rare creative outlet and a safe space for self-expression, personal growth, and mental well-being. Research shows that engaging in the arts improves emotional resilience, reduces stress, and builds critical problem-solving skills. Art fuels innovation, and by supporting these programs, we're investing in the next generation of creative thinkers and leaders. I hope you can find a way to help us all work together to continue to make the PAC the best it can be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Marianne. Tio Lopez, and then Tio, you're going to be followed by Elisa Torres.
Mic check. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members and city staff.
Good
You
evening.
guys you probably don't get a lot of shout outs. I work at the AV equipment at the Oxnard Union High School District, so shout out to the AV team. All right. So for those that haven't met me, my name is Teo Lopez. I was born and raised in Oxnard, a Cal State Northridge alumni with a background in visual arts, and a staff member at the Oxnard Union High School District, and a proud commissioner on the Cultural Arts Commission. I've dedicated my career to serving the city, and today I stand before you as a board member of the Oxnard Performing Arts Center nonprofit, the OPAC, to advocate for a direct partnership between OPAC and the city of Oxnard, a decision that I strongly believe will strengthen our economy, support our youth, and expand access to the arts. For decades, OPAC has been a pillar of this community, providing arts, education, workforce development, and cultural programming that align with the city's goals for youth and economic growth. And the OPAC has done that through our partnerships with Oxnard Union High School District, CSU Channel Islands, and Ventura College. Simply put, we are more than a venue, we are a cultural and educational lifeline for this community. Yet under the proposed agreement, OPAC would operate under Sterling Venue Ventures, instead of being directly empowered to expand these critical programs for our community. Our proposal is simple: grant OPAC a direct management agreement for the community center that include the ballrooms and the meeting rooms. I want you to know that this is not about replacing SVB, but about ensuring that community-driven nonprofit can continue serving Oxnard without unnecessary barriers. The OPAC board and staff love what they do, and I want us all to keep serving the city. And I want to leave you with this. We want to work with the city. We want to be your partner. We want to be your greatest advocate, your strongest supporter for your initiatives. Let's make this moment a fresh start for both of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tio. We'll go to Elisa Torres, and then followed by Cindy Mendoza. Just to let you know, we're number 18th on the speaker list, and we have almost 60. So just to give you a perspective, okay? So Elisa's only number 17, and we got 60 speakers lined up. So at some point, we'll take a recess, okay? Okay, go ahead, Elisa.
Thank you. Good evening, council members, city staff, and community members. My name is Elisa Torres, and I'm a muralist, artist, arts advocate, and serve on the Cultural Arts Commission and an OPAC employee. But I'm here today as a member of this great community, and I'm here to urge you to preserve the role of the Oxnard Performing Arts Center Corporation, OPAC, in the future of the Oxnard Performing Arts and Convention Center. In 2019, when the center was on the brink of closure, due to a $9.2 million budget shortfall, it wasn't a corporation that stepped up. It was OPAC, the nonprofit built by the people, for the people. They didn't just talk about saving the arts, they acted. They raised over $2 million in grants and donations, not from boardrooms, but from believers. They invested in critical upgrades, new lighting, sound systems, chairs, drapes, clocks, and provided programs that serve our youth, elders, and artists. These programs don't exist to generate profit, but they exist to make a difference. This is not a fight between enemies, it's a fight between visions. Sterling Venue might want more control. OPAC wants collaboration. Sterling sees a venue, OPAC sees a community. The conflicts between them stem from a poorly written agreement that reversed their intended roles and prevented true partnership. Instead of choosing sides, we should choose solutions. OPAC has grown willingness to be transparent, participate in a fair RFP process, and even continue working with Sterling. Sterling Venue Ventures has contributed to the center's success, but financial gain should never come at the expense of public service. Some may say, we turned a profit, let's celebrate. But I say this, a profit without a purpose is an empty victory. Now, they might try to scare us with liability concerns, talk about lawsuits or risks, but the greatest risk is losing this culture home to corporate control. A community without its arts, its voice, and its stories is a community